Hey YouTube, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about my hidden gem on Fresno State. But before I do, just a reminder, go to YouTube, search Rico Knows, right? Shout out to the graphics. Search Rico Knows, get to the playlist on the homepage, and learn about all the other hidden gems in college football. I'm doing one hidden gem per team in America before the season. So here we are. We're looking at Fresno State, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the hidden gem. He's in the graphic down here, but let me show you how I got here. First and foremost, our lads usually has an up-to-date depth chart. They don't. They're missing two stud wide receivers that just hit the transfer portal, Cheaton James and Raylan Sharp coming in from the FCS. Complete studs, little guys, but complete studs, and they're transferring into this wide receiver room. It's going to be a problem. The best group of 5 offensive line that I have seen on tape is Fresno State. They have the very best offensive line. Shout out to a number of teams that have really good offensive linemen. I can remember when Georgia Southern really surprised me, but when I look at Fresno State, yeah, they are the bee's knees on the offensive line. As a unit, they're just monsters. They're physically developed. Everybody's a senior. Everybody is just good, does their job. They work well in tandem. I hope that it comes to fruition, but I see an offensive line that's the best in the entire country in the group of 5. I'm not joking, okay? Shout out to Mikey Keene. He was my hidden gem last year when he transferred in from UCF. If you remember those videos on TikTok, I talked about Mikey Keene being the hidden gem, and it turned out to be true. Shout out to him and what he did to Purdue. Awesome stuff. Shout out to Fife for leaving, going to the FCS, and a bunch of other dudes losing the quarterback battle. By the way, Joshua Wood is still one of these guys that I believe is an amazing quarterback. Joshua Wood was great in high school. I watched everything he ever did, and I really believe in that young man. I don't know when he starts making the 2 deep. I don't know when he gets that opportunity to lead, but I like Joshua Wood. Obviously, Sherrod's a 900-yard rusher. That's not a hidden gem. I do not just try to point out the best player on every team. That's not happening. Defensively, if you look at the defensive line, number 5 pops on tape. That's Devo, right? Bridges. He's just a complete stud. Complete stud on the edge, and then opposite him supposedly will be Corey Foreman, the former 5-star Corona Centennial great. I am from Southern California. I'm born and raised in Riverside County. I'm very aware of how good Corona Centennial is. I used to go to that damn school and play games there. So shout out to them. Shout out to Corey Foreman. I hope they play great. By the way, other Corona Centennial guys, Lightfoot and Nomura. And if you ever want to see a hit, Cam Rising gets his block knocked off back when Nomura played at USC. So these are all high school guys, complete studs, and the leader of this entire defense is right there, number 9, Langley. Malachi Langley's the guy, right? Led the team in tackles, just looks the part, complete stud. Julian Neal, it's a weak spot for me. I'm not too intrigued by it. It's his first time starting that I can see, and I think that's why they brought in Embry, and I don't know if Embry's good enough to start. Embry's been in JUCO for 3 years now, and when I went to go look for tape on Embry, I don't know. It feels like a weak point on the defense. The left corner spot looks bad. Safeties, I like Dean Clark a lot. Cameron doesn't move me like that. Dean Clark does, Cameron doesn't. That's just life, okay? Shout out to Hamilton, looks like a stud at corner. And then Justin Houston, this is my hidden gem. If you go and look at last season's stats, let's say you're a box score scout, and you go in here and you try to find a hidden gem, and you try to point out one of these guys, and you start looking at passes deflected. There's Norris, right? Not here. But you could say Hamilton. Alzillian Hamilton. You're like, whoa, I want to go look at those plays and see how good he is. You can do all this kind of stuff. You can study what you want to study. But when you do my job, right? I'm a professional analyst. I do this for a living. This is not a hobby. I provide my information to gamblers, and I have to say whether or not this player is better than this player. This team is better than this team. And when I provide that analysis, it's because I have historical knowledge on all these players. I know all these players' careers, been watching them their whole life, and starting from high school all the way through, I study this thing. And when I look at a defense like this, and then you go look at that depth chart, and there's Justin Houston, you go, oh, that's the hidden gem that nobody's going to be talking about. Shout out to Justin Houston. Didn't play last year. Didn't play. It says 1 tackle. I don't remember that tackle. I thought he sat out the whole year. Dealing with injuries, didn't play, whatever it is. He did have some eligibility concerns. I don't know if that was academic or what. But now he's ready to play. And he's 6'3", 190 pounds. They have him at this nickel position here. But if you ask me, he's a linebacker in the box. He's kind of been a little lanky. If you remember him in high school and you watched him in high school, he was just tall, skinny, and kind of just moved around. But you could see the potential. You could see it if you were paying attention. And what you see here is a guy, this should be a pick 6, right? Doesn't quite have the foot speed to go. So I think of him as a linebacker, a really tall linebacker, and the person moves the camera twice on that play and the next play. It really frustrated me initially. And he also stops it in the middle of the place. But this is old high school tape. It's been many years since this. He's been lifting weights. 3 or 4 years is what I meant to say. He's been lifting weights, but this is a 6'3" defender. A defensive back with length, a linebacker, someone who can help in the box. I love the way he pursues. Like, he takes the right angle. Look at this right here. He just measures it perfectly. And if you look at the angle, if you didn't know, linebacker pursuit drills, you want to see helmet across chest to the opposite shoulder. And he's not trailing behind them. He gets across the front of it. It's a really good fundamental thing to do. And it's more like, have you guys ever seen an outfielder who can naturally catch pop flies? Have you ever tried to catch pop flies and you can't naturally track it? He can naturally track how fast someone's running, and he runs it down at the proper angle. I love it. He's just always in the right position at the right place, and he's got the length that's difficult for people to deal with, and he just makes the play. It's just one of those guys, I'm going to put him on the field and let him make the play. Now, does he have liabilities with top end speed? Yes. Can he get blown past? But look at that right there. Took the proper angle, batted down a pass that was out in the flats when he was lined up inside, giving inside leverage. Right here, reading the play, keeping his outside shoulder free, setting the edge, still making the play. You're 6'3", 190, and you can help in the box, and you just have a really good IQ and understanding of what you're doing on defense. I love it. I love the way he plays. Covers a lot of ground. Rangy is the word, right? Rangy. Number 11 here. Just kind of moving and doing things. Now, if he gets stronger at the point of contact, it comes a little better. But for me, he was able to play as soon as he showed up at Fresno, able to get on the field, and it's just a unique athlete, if you will. So I'm excited for him. I hope he comes back to play. I know it doesn't look like this game changer, and all you guys are going to be like, oh, he's a little slow-footed or whatever. No, man, when you watch the tape and you watch this young man play at Fresno State, doing this on Saturdays, Justin Houston can play. So the seniority on this defense, the returning production, everything is there, and I think Justin Houston's a hidden gem. Please, check the playlist. Pay attention. I'm pointing out one hidden gem on every single team in America. Fresno State looks loaded. I expect them to win at least 8 games. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Stay up, y'all. Peace.